Thing about multi-subject vlogging or social media uploads is that you could talk about a lot of stuff because for me, jack of all trades, master of some. So, in the sense that you know a little bit about a lot of things and a lot about a little things, just stay on those subjects and don't like if you get on the subject of sovereign citizen, know your definitions. It's a prime example. And that's about it. I think that things that don't hurt our rights and liberties or compromise people's safety, like, you can't upload a video uh, talking about mechanics if you don't really know all the full scope of things of what you're talking about. You can't extend past that. And I think the problem with some people like JD DeLay, as an example, is, he's in an area of law enforcement, but he's uneducated on civil and constitutional rights. So therefore, he doesn't understand because he's looking at it from a person of reform. He's looking at it from a criminal's perspective. So, in the criminal's perspective, he has the mindset to adapt to the criminal mind because he has experience. He said himself 20 years as being a criminal. Okay, a career criminal. He brags about it. And it's okay. Okay, I brag about going to jail, but I was an innocent man profiled and beat up by the police under a circumstance and prosecuted maliciously. So it's a lot different. And, that's what, basically, that's why I'm here too, is because I don't feel safe in the outside world. Nobody's speaking on my behalf. When we see the videos and evidence of things that we know are true and no one does anything about them, and we grew up with these fantasies, like you got to respect all these different levels of people. How does a social media influencer get the respect? Because without knowledge and experience, information and technology can't be utilized to its fullest, and it doesn't take the place of knowledge and experience. So, knowledge of law enforcement and things like that, still JD DeLay as an example, he is unknowledgeable in certain areas. So, because he's never had to defend himself as an innocent person, he's only had to be guilty and try to get away with it as a criminal. So, what is it going to take for this transition of mentalities to go through a change where they could become more apt and ept instead of inept on delivering the message he wants, but not fucking himself and the rest of us in the process? Because this is an important subject. You don't go tell people to fucking cook with mercury. It basically, I don't know. It's just not good, and it bothers me, and it promotes me to make these videos, in a good way, because it is what it is now. See, I got beat up by the police and thrown in jail when I shouldn't have happened. Okay, so my life has changed forever, and that's the fucking truth, dude. And you know what? JD's life and somebody like him, I don't know, I think he might be younger, but you see, there's an age bracket, like why I say stuff about Kid Rock, because he is my age bracket and he's speaking on Generation X behalf, and that's not fucking cool, dude. So he's on a train of thought that is not correct for the masses. Whose thought process is good for the masses? Nobody's, in a singular way. That's why we have a cabinet and people. And even this pine cone, it's not just the stalk. And look what happens. It comes in crooked. So think about all these fucking things and just stop listening to that guy. And I'm cursing to be passionate, dude. I'll draw people with heads getting cut off. I mean, it's not, and that takes an hour maybe. I don't know. So you could judge me by this and that. But one thing I love about, side note, one thing I love about being nonviolent is I feel that I could pop the clutch with words. But it does offend and scare some people because not everybody has the experience going the distance with understanding their emotions and how much you could put out. Like, you ever hear of screaming sessions and shit like that? You'll believe it or not, that shit is fucking healthy. You know, people look like gosh darn idiots, but whatever. So back to the subject, you got to know what you're fucking talking about and have experiences. And it just happens so that, you know, being an introvert and being excluded for a lot of things and being put into perspective, my experiences put me on here like this at challenging him with his experiences. And you know, it doesn't bother me that he has more followers, in the sense that maybe he's making money or he has a bigger audience and he could sell his piece of shit if he puts it on a paper instead of something like a person's artwork like I do. That doesn't bother me really. What bothers me is the outside world prohibits me from living easy because they're listening to fools, and it's the blind leading the blind. And in the world of the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Okay, and it's like this whole concept of ignorance that exists with a dose of bliss and a touch of class and a whim of elegance and a cool fucking breeze, and you think this world is good to go. You know? However, if we learn from people, and it's sad that some people, including myself as a hypocrite in some ways, but, you know, I will sit there and argue that, okay, my gripes and my gripes and my plights are based on being pushed around and limited when it shouldn't exist and it shouldn't fucking happen. So I have a course of life that has been prevented in some ways because it takes time and body and age. Okay, I'm not a younger man, obviously. Okay, it changes your ability to build your personal empire and take care of your chalice. Remember that fucking commercial with the cereal? Was that LL Cool J or somebody on that commercial? It was a cool commercial. Macho Camacho. I don't know. But your and his son, your chalice, you know, take care of that too. So I like that puts you out. It's no fucking fun being in jail, dude. You know, and it doesn't make you a big fucking man. It makes you a child that couldn't conform to the world's customs and traditions, that people respect each other, that gave you the fucking liberty and freedom to grow up and make the choice and have the ability to fuck up or not. So, yeah, you know, let's make JD the best guy. Let's make Kid Rock the best guy, okay? Let's make, you know, whatever. I'm just, you know, Colin Kilpatrick. Fuck you, motherfucker. Rappaport, or whatever your fucking name, Poe. No, Rappaport's a cool dude. You know, a lot of cool Jews, dude. They fucking... Anyway, Rappapo, you fuck you. Fuck you. And the gay community that wants to attach themselves to the extremist groups within the cross-dressing community that have become transgender by using operations and demanding people pay for it because, you know, they don't want to own this world and themselves in it, but they feel like, okay, since I'm here, you might as well make me fucking happy. Well, guess what, dude? I make myself fucking happy by doing artwork and playing music and shit. And the more people want to fuck with me, okay, and the more I don't get to do that. And instead I'm doing this because it's a terrible thing to waste. And you force me to fucking focus on stuff. And I don't want to waste this space anymore on people's deficiencies. And I'm embodying the social media just like these other dudes do and dudettes. So it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But you got to know your definitions. If you're going to get on social media, please don't take risks that are going to, like, make you fall off a cliff. Okay? Don't try to become Mary Magdalene when actually you're just nothing because you're not a virgin to begin with. And that's already been done by attackers who are allowed to have their forced seed grown. Okay, so don't put yourself out there like that. I mean, but what it does do is show that there's a deficiency and a deficit and an ignorance and a level because some people are certain ways, you know? I mean, straight people and alphabet community people are going in each other's butt. So, I mean, this whole Hippocratic thing is just ridiculous. And, I'm doing this to get plucked. So, it is what it is. That's what we want. The hair on the hair on a cattle pig is meant to get plucked. Okay, the feathers on a farm raised processed plant chicken, cattle, chicken, whatever, is the feather is meant to get plucked. You got to think about these things. It isn't compassionate because there's a segue, okay? And what mankind has discovered is what I learned from Alan Watts, learning from Buddhism, is he said about predictability. So man predicts that if you keep these animals in their cages, they will promote their fate if they're allowed and able to think about it. So, you know, it was a great commercial. I'd like to buy the World Coke. Da, 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 da. Beam me up, Scotty.